Everyone, I hope you are doing great today. We put some Michael Bublé music to put you in the vibe, in the holiday vibe. We are super excited to join you today. Hi Sam, says Melanie. We're just gonna wait for like a few seconds until more people join us. As you can see, I'm a big Christmas fan because I already have my Christmas tree set up in the back. Hello, Melanie. Lots of people are already in there. If you don't mind, please tell us where you are joining us from. I'm here in Montreal. It was snowing this morning, and now it's
Oh man.
really sunny, so I had to close my curtains. Southern California. Sam, where are you joining us from?
Joining from Seattle area, smaller town called Gig Harbor,
Amazing West Coast.
and it's completely not festive, and it's just raining outside. It's not that great.
And Vina, where are you joining us from?
From Chicago.
From Chicago.
No snow this morning, but it was 25 when I left the house to walk my dog. So colder temperatures.
All right.
Ooh, we got a bonjour. That's great. Thomas, I don't know if we ever connected, but I speak French. I grew up speaking French in Morocco.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can you say a few words?
Ouais, il y a longtemps que je parle en français, mais j'aime. Wow. It's too much pressure. A little bit. It's honestly really rusty. I haven't practiced in like 13 years, so like every once in a while. But I'm not from Morocco, actually. Good question, but I just grew up there for 18 years.
You're from Morocco.
Wow.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
spent my whole childhood overseas.
Oh my God. Well, I'm originally from Belgium, so I speak French. That's my first language. You might hear it, but I do my best to make myself clear in English. All right, let's get the party started. So, welcome everyone. We are a lot today. That's awesome. Welcome everyone to at least my last webinar of 2021 and the last webinar of the holiday series on how to host an amazing virtual holiday party. And today is about the 6 secret ingredients for a ridiculously fun virtual holiday party. By the way, I have a really hard time pronouncing ridiculously, so don't make fun of me. That's a really hard word to pronounce, but yeah, I'm super excited to be here. We have 3 cooks today, 3 amazing cooks for a magic recipe. We have Vina, sorry. How do you pronounce that?
No, you were correct, Vina.
Vina,
Yeah.
Sam, and myself. And Vina, please tell us more about yourself.
Yes, so I am the Director of Relations at Kapow. And Kapow is a company that's goal is to make it easy to find, book, and manage small events through our online booking tool and our event specialists. So if you need to book a small meeting or event, virtual or in person, definitely check out kapow.com.
Check it out. It's a really cool platform if you want to get some inspiration on really cool virtual event ideas. Sam, who are you?
Sam Meitzen. I'm the CEO, one of the co-founders of Snapbar. And Snapbar, we're an event tech company, so we build like online camera platforms. One core product powers like virtual photo booths and all the ways that you can display and interact and have fun in that way. And then one of our latest products is actually slightly outside the events industry and is company headshots, so virtual company headshots for teams that are looking for that. And that's what we do.
Amazing. And I'm Thomas Paris. I'm the Director of Marketing at Hoppier, and just a really cool platform if you want to offer food, drinks, and gifts to your virtual attendees anywhere in the world. It's a really simple way to achieve that, and we do it by providing anyone in the world with virtual Visa cards that allow them to buy from a large selection of food delivery apps, but also from local vendors, so that you don't have to deal with very hard logistical issues. So if you guys want to offer or add food to your virtual event, to your virtual holiday parties, that's a really easy and seamless way to do it. So we are all excited to be here. And as I said, we're going to talk about 6 really cool ingredients that you have to add to your holiday sauce to make it a fun event for everybody. And without further ado, let's start with the first one. Vina, can you tell us more about how to create, about the first ingredient? Sorry.
That's me, actually.
Yeah.
Sam, I knew that. Sam,
It's all
sorry.
good.
Sam, go ahead.
It is okay. So, hey, everyone, thanks so much for coming. Before we kick off, a couple things, like one big thing that I like to think about over the past year and a half, we've done thousands and thousands of virtual events. In fact, last December, my company got to be part of hundreds of virtual holiday parties. It was the very first time. So it was kind of like, you know, in the trenches, learning everything about it. And one of the things that's really important to be aware of is that when you are doing things remote and virtually, it is challenging to compete against in person. There's no way around it. And so I think a lot of the ingredients today that we're going to be talking about are specifically meant to try to make virtual holiday party different than the many, many, many meetings, including this webinar that we're a part of, that don't feel like that in-person event. So we'll be sharing ideas and tips and tricks on how to do this. And the first point for me is really making any virtual space your own. A big piece of if you're a brand, you can think about branding it. It could also just be themed. And because we're talking about holiday parties, obviously there's some like small things to be aware of, but you want to try to make the virtual holiday party feel different than everything else we're part of. As close to, though it obviously is going to be different, that in-person counterpart. And so first up, like make it fun, not serious. One of the best ways to ruin excitement for a virtual holiday party is to make it feel like an all hands meeting, or taking attendance or worrying that people are late, etc. So making it fun and not serious is a big deal. And I think that's pretty obvious, but I think it's surprising. Sometimes we just get into the habit of like, oh, webinar has to be all polished and we can't talk and chat. Or, I mean, we do this at our company and we're 18 people, and I regularly try to make any event that's different than like a regular meeting somehow feel different, even if it's just like, I don't know, some cross-functional team thing. And then 2, related to that, like make it look different. So if you want it to be fun and not serious and take a little bit of the like work piece away from it, make it look different. And this is where really like the thematic or kind of branding piece comes in. The examples, full confession, are just Snapbar examples I just took of how we go about like branding things for our clients when they're looking to have a holiday party experience from a virtual photo booth perspective. But you can brand the and kind of create themes around the virtual event platforms you're in. We've talked on some of these webinars before in the past about a company that I really love called Gather Town, where you can create like a 2D world to walk around in and recreate your office or recreate some happy hour spot that the team used to go to. So there's a lot of ways to make it feel and look different because doing it on Zoom and telling everyone to go get a different colored background is like probably still too similar, in my opinion, to like a regular holiday party. Although even that's best, right? So if you're going to have that like small tip, if you're going to be on Zoom or something like that, make sure to, we lost somebody. It's all good. I'll keep chatting. Make sure to try to push people towards like bringing in the fun. Thomas, do we have the slides?
I'm sorry, I had some technical issues. I don't know.
Yeah, no worries.
Was it only me? Can the people in the room tell us if they also had some sound issues, or was it only me?
Any sound issues? Nope.
No sound
It's just
issues.
been you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. So again, making it fun, like encourage desks. I'll just kind of recap a couple short ideas. Encourage desk side cocktails or drinks if you want to. Bring in pets. Do fun things like take photo booth pictures and vote in Slack the next day. You want people to feel like they're a part of the experience and not simply like it's different. Okay, if you relate to this, being in, like, let's say you are just in a simple Zoom thing where everyone can see each other. In a normal holiday party, you can kind of escape to a little corner of the room and just talk with two friends. That's hard to do. So how can you try to recreate little breakout rooms or adopt a platform that allows you to kind of walk away kind of physically and escape and just chat to a couple people in one area? These are things that I think are important to think about. Make it look different. So again, bring in the branding, try to plan out the experience, create like a fun timeline and have things that people can go participate in, even if it means getting up and going to the kitchen and getting their favorite snack and coming back. Like, that's not a bad thing for a holiday party. They can do things like that. You want them to be able to like feel normal about it. I think people are going to talk a little bit later about even like bringing in other people. And then finally, for this section, I'm creating a connection between the user and the brand. So using engagement and implementing things like company-related polls, not boring polls, fun things. Make fun of the CEO, make fun of some of the management or leaders, like tease them. You can bring in like employee-related or company-related trivia and give out prizes. Just a couple of ways to try to make the company, like, I don't know, I wouldn't say make fun of itself, but be lighthearted. Because again, I think this helps differentiate it from a typical meeting where everything has to feel polished and like high level and intense. People, I think one of the reasons people will skip virtual holiday parties is if they feel like it's going to be yet another thing they've been a part of. Whereas if it can be pitched and seen as different, that's my first big tip, is like make it your own and make it different.
And before we jump to the second ingredient, I have a question for everybody here. Give me 1 sec. And if you want to go to the poll section right now, you can answer that question. So what type of holiday party are you planning? Is it 100% virtual? Is it going to be a hybrid experience or 100% on-site? I know that a lot of us were hoping to do something on site this year, but it's still a little bit too soon. And hybrid is something that I find very interesting, and I would love to know how you guys are going to try to blend these two experiences together.
Yeah.
But it's going to be mostly virtual from what I see. Most people said virtual, and 30% say hybrid. So that's super interesting to me. Not that many people on site.
You know, I think we talked about this in one of our pre-call meetings, Thomas, but, you know, hybrid doesn't have to, it's kind of like this weird word. And what exactly does it look like? I know for our company, we have hybrid meetings all the time. So for example, I'm in the office today and a few other team members are in the office, but most of our team's remote. So when we have an all hands, which we'll have on Friday, we usually have like a conference table or room where like 7 of us will be, and the rest of the team is each individually on their own screen. Like, is that hybrid? I mean, some of us are in person, some of us are tuning in virtually, but it feels like it's all virtual because, you know, it's all based around a screen. I think that's possible. So actually, a lot of these tips I think would actually very well apply to like a hybrid event, because hybrid events in many ways still happen somehow connected to like that, like in, you know, there's some version of connection between that, you know, physical and virtual space. So that's a great point.
100%.
And yeah, I'll kind of jump to the second point real quick to keep this moving. So a second kind of key ingredient or secret ingredient is initiate some version of pre-event engagement. So beyond like making it look different, making it feel different, and kind of branding it and being cool about it, give people a reason to show up excited. So I found, especially last year when we did so many of these, that companies just like assumed people knew what a virtual holiday party would be, and they assumed that they would get that it would be fun. But I actually think that that's dangerous. I don't think like team members assume that a virtual holiday party is fun. I really think it's on planners and managers to like prove it ahead of time, and not to like just say, hey, promise, believe me, but somehow like do something. And so a couple tips, again, these are like pretty high level. We could go deep and we'll have Q&A at the end, but gamify the wait. Right? So when you're waiting for the virtual holiday party, typically you've probably announced, oh, it's going to be December 17th from 7 to 10 or whatever. Well, between now and then, like, don't just remind people of the date and the time. Do anything you can to get someone excited for it. Could you do an ugly sweater contest in advance and then give a prize to the winner day of? Could you tell people to, you know, and that could be like, again, you could do that in a hybrid setting where people are actually showing up and voting. You could do that virtually. Could you have people, you know, submit basically like their favorite cocktail or drink recipe like in some kind of Slack or Office channel, and then the winner, something that gets the most votes, is like the thing. It gives people inspiration. It's like, I don't know what to make, like, but here's an easy one that my colleague recommended. Oh, look, this is great. Again, it brings in maybe that like a food or drink or something like that. I think too, like gamifying and giving people ahead of, like, the ability to interact ahead of time is important. Hinting, this is kind of related, but hint at real rewards and prizes. Give stuff away. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be company swag, but people love to win something, even if it's a small thing. And I would encourage people to think about lots of different prizes. So that, you know, great, have some competition, but create a bunch of competitions. First person to show up at the virtual holiday party. So like, how early are they going to show up, right? Like person to, I don't know. I won't go into all these things that we've seen, but I think it can be pretty interesting. Send them something pre-event. I won't talk a lot about this because I know that you will, Thomas, but trying to tie, and this isn't just like a hybrid tactic. This is trying to tie what's happening on the internet and, you know, in the cloud to what we have. And the reason this comes up in like a pre-event thing is usually get the box or whatever that is ahead of time. And it's like, oh, sweet. Like I'm going to be taking this usually, or like using it or drinking it at the event. And then when I finally like give people a reason to or be excited, open up the virtual doors. And what I mean by that is invite other people, like pets. Tell people that it's okay if their kids are like screaming in the background. In fact, bring them in if you want to. Have your friend or your partner who's living there be able to join in. Like sometimes that was allowed at like real kind of in-person company holiday parties. Oftentimes it wasn't at some of the ones, because we also used to do like a ton of in-person stuff. But open up the doors. It's not some crazy official company meeting, right? So you hope you're not probably going to be sharing like, I don't know, secret data or something. Like bring people in, have fun, and introduce them. I think it like creates a little bit of that, again, different vibe, and it gives people a reason that it's a little bit, you know, I don't know. It's exciting to be able to bring in family. I have 3 kids and 2 cats, and I like not feeling embarrassed when they're running around in the background.
Will there be a replay? Yes, Marisa, there will be a replay. Everybody will get the replay. Thank you, Sam, for these amazing insights. Lots of great ideas here. Before we jump to the third ingredient, I have a question to all of you. I think Sam has shared a ton of great ideas, a ton of golden nuggets already, but I think it's always valuable when we have these kind of virtual events to actually learn from everybody who's joining today. So do you have any creative experiences or any good ideas that you are thinking of for your own virtual holiday party that you would like to share to everybody here, so that, you know, you guys can learn from us, but we can also learn from you, and you can learn from each other. So please share them in the chat. I'm gonna give you some times to answer. We're doing a white elephant exchange online. I don't know what a white elephant exchange online is.
You've never done a white elephant? Oh, it's so fun.
No, I don't know.
I'm curious how they're doing it online. Like maybe they're shipping gifts?
Is it some sort of like gift exchange or?
Similar,
yes,
yeah.
Okay, similar.
But typically white elephant gifts are supposed to be kind of funny, not like a serious gift. Nice.
That's fun. Providing DoorDash voucher for lunch. That's a bad idea. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Charity raffle draw. That's cool. Raffle for about 150 gifts. Cookie decorating contest.
We've seen people do that. Yeah, we've had people use our photo booth to not take selfies, but to actually use it as kind of like an event camera, where they'll flip the camera around and take pictures of like cookies, Christmas tree decorations, you know, even like they can like vote on like their kids doing stuff. So it's funny that it's like not even just a photo booth for your face, but it could be like a photo booth for all kinds of stuff, and then you can like vote on them and everything.
I love it. I just saw a photo contest. Maybe it's with Snowbar. I don't know, but with cash rewards. So
cash rewards. I don't know if we've done any. We don't have any integrations for cash rewards.
If there was any cash reward involved, I would commit for sure.
Exactly.
I did a French themed event recently. That's really cool. Kahoot winter holiday theme trivia. Yeah, I have something to share about that with Kahoot. I'll share it after after this.
Ooh, karaoke, that's a good one. I've never done virtual
Karaoke,
karaoke,
so.
but I've heard that it's a whole nother experience.
Yeah.
Last year's is very different. Oh, I did something similar with Kahoot, Michelle. I'll explain it. Awesome. These are all amazing ideas. I love it. I love that we can all get creative as a group. That's awesome. And this is gonna be you, Vina, right? No, I'm kidding. that's that's my part. So the third ingredient is providing what we call a phygital experience. So what does phygital mean? Well, in very simple terms, it really means marrying both the physical and the virtual world. So what does that mean in the context of virtual events? Well, usually bringing these physical elements mean either food and drinks or gifts or branded swag. So I'm going to start with food. I think food is a really cool physical element to bring onto your virtual events because to me it's like this the fact that people bond over food is like human relationship one-on-one. It's just like when I remember the best conversations I've had, it was kind of always while sharing a nice meal with colleagues, with friends, or sharing some drinks. It's just a really cool conversation starter, but also it creates that nice atmosphere for meaningful conversations. So I think food in any like on-site event is something that people can get excited about because it's delicious and it's also at the time where you're going to connect with people in a meaningful way. And the problem is, if you want to offer these food experiences in a virtual context, it can get tricky. So you might want to work with these companies that can send food boxes, but you're gonna face some logistical issues, such as, first of all, you need to understand what people want. And let's face it, in today's world, people can get a bit tricky in terms of what food they want and all the dietary restrictions. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge is knowing where to ship it to. And because people work from home in a remote context, that can mean a lot of different locations. And so the last thing is, with today's like world supply chain issues, you might face a lot of problems when getting those boxes to be delivered on time. So the next best option would be to work with one of the food delivery apps. But again, the problem is because people work from home, even if they all work from the US, the problem is that if you work with Grubhub, with DoorDash, I saw in the chat, they usually work in major cities, but people sometimes work from very small towns that are not covered by these companies. So if you want to make sure people get what they want, if you want to be able to instantly, deliver these food experiences anywhere in the world, whether it's all in the US or in different location across the world, a better solution, of course, would be to work with a company that can achieve that, which would be Happier. And Happier it's a better fit for this kind of food experiences if you have a lot of different locations to cover, because it's not gift cards, it's not food boxes. These are smart digital Visa cards. And so we call them smart because the great thing about them is that you can brand them, you can set up time restrictions, but the most important thing is that you can choose a lot of different vendors where people can order from. And we have all the main food delivery apps, but these cards, because they are Visa, they can work on any local restaurant. So you can just set the allowance on the card, and then people can go and buy food and drinks at any restaurant, whether it's through the food delivery app or through that local restaurant directly, which provide a much more inclusive experience for everyone. Now, the second thing that you might want to think about is providing swag, right? And why I think it's a really good idea to have this branded swag sent to people's homes is that people, I would say anyone or most people want to feel like they belong to a group. Like think about sports teams. Why do people buy all the swag, all this all the team's clothing? Is because again they want to feel like they belong to a group of people with the same passion, with the same goal. And that's the same thing that happens with your employees. They want to feel that they belong to that same group with the same direction. And one thing that I really like that we are going to plan this year in our company is we're going to think about this a little bit more creatively, because we are going to host a lot of different virtual games at a holiday party, and we'll have different teams. And so we're gonna ship this swag, this branded swag, to people's homes, and these swag boxes will have different colors depending on the different teams. And so that's gonna be kind of a nice way for people to meet other people from other teams and wear the same team color. Of course, it's going to be Hopia branded, but they will be different colors depending on the team. So that kind of reinforces in a fun way that feeling of belonging to the same group. And we can also think about different gifts ideas. So the gifting part doesn't always have to be swag. Another good advice for swag is working with companies like Via, swag.com, SwagUp, that can set up a temporary e-commerce shop. I know it kind of kills the surprise effect for sure, but you don't want to offer a gift or a swag item that is going to get thrown out 2 days after your holiday party. Like, make sure that people are at the center of your event and that they can actually choose a swag or the gift that matters most to them. And so a good idea that you could also do if you want to provide a one-on-one kind of gifting experience is having a Teams gift exchange. So probably something similar to the white elephant, but a cool idea that a lot of our clients are doing and are again using the Hopper cards for is providing an allowance on the card to be able to offer a gift to fellow team members. So we use draw names, that's CA, to put everybody's email address, and then that software will take care of who has to give or who has to give to whom, and then they use the Hopper card with the allowance to actually go to any retailer, any of the vendors listed on the platform to offer the gift to that person. So I think just like all these ideas of incorporating physical elements to this virtual context really help towards creating a better bonding experience for your team at your virtual holiday party. Thank you, Sam. I saw that you shared swag.com, SwagUp. These are really cool websites. I also like Via. Via is also a pretty cool swag partner that I highly recommend. And we are at the fourth, right? I'm counting right. The fourth ingredient for an amazing virtual holiday party. By the way, if you have any questions, share it in the chat. We'll leave some time at the end to answer these. But in the meantime, I'm gonna let Vina explain the fourth ingredient.
Yeah, so I was going to speak a little to how to identify and select the right host for your event. So a great host is going to ensure that everyone attending the event is engaged. So that's their whole job, is to get people comfortable, excited to participate in the activities, make sure people's questions are answered and that they're keeping up through the activities, and of course that everyone is having fun. So I think that there's kind of three main ways to select a host. The first one that I really love is to look within the company. So find someone that's engaging and entertaining and would be excited to host the event. Your employees may feel more comfortable with this person right away, so engagement can happen a bit quicker. Potentially supporting someone in the company that has a passion for it and can help with their personal development or fulfillment. And number 3, which always is great, it also could potentially help save a bit of money. Or you could look at hiring an entertainer. There are a number of people who make it their job to ensure that people are having fun at these types of events. So actors, magicians, mentalists, performers. Or you could book a company through, say, like Kapow, where we specialize in these types of events. Our job is to vet companies that offer fun, engaging virtual events. These experiences typically always include an MC whose job it is, again, to keep everybody involved and on track and make sure that they're having fun. I would say for the MC, you want to make sure that they have the information needed to do a good job at the event. So make sure they have the event outline and some background on the group, right? Who are they entertaining? The more they can be informed about the company and the people, the better that they will do. And also, what do you want them to do? What's their focus? Is that on getting people excited and interested and keeping them talking, or do you want to keep them focused on the task at hand? Yes, making your employees the event heroes. So this section is really sort of focusing on employees, making sure that you're creating authentic connections at these events. And I think this has a lot to do with selecting the right type of event for the occasion. So you want to select an event that will appeal to the entire team or group. Like you wouldn't want to start with virtual karaoke if everyone attending the event is shy or maybe doesn't know each other super well. Or a wine tasting if you have people who are under 21 or just don't drink. So at Kapow, we kind of break things into 3 main categories. So we have food and beverage, activities and entertainment, and gaming options. Food and beverage, as you can imagine, those are very interactive and great because you really can learn some new skills. So for example, cooking classes. Cooking can be simpler with one item, like pizza classes have been incredibly popular through Kapow. Or you can look at creating a full holiday meal, like a Parisian gnocchi and rubbed pork loin. The options are really almost endless. So you can work with a lot of different event themes. These are set up to be good for almost all skill levels. Plus, you'll have a great meal at the end that you get to enjoy together. The only thing maybe to think about with cooking is that some of these can be longer classes, like in the 2-hour range. So if you're looking for something closer to an hour, you'd want to pick a simpler recipe or a different type of class. And we have beverages. Arguably maybe the most popular category. So mixology, like holiday mixology, is so incredibly fun and very popular. You typically learn to make and taste 1 to 3 different cocktails. But there are also things like wine tastings, whiskey tastings, beer tastings. You learn a lot, and I like it because you get a bit out of your comfort zone. You get to try things that you've never tried before, and certainly that you maybe never would have bought for yourself. These, again, can all be themed, and we even have a partner that offers mixology as well as cooking. So you get to cook something, and at the end, you create a cocktail or a beverage to go along with that meal. So kind of the best of both worlds. Usually these are about an hour, but you can request shorter classes, 30 to 45 minutes, if that fits better into your full event. And then some of my favorites, things like cheese tastings or chocolate tastings. These are just incredibly delicious. You don't need a kitchen. People can just sort of sit down at their kitchen table or desk. There's always leftovers because they send you tons of chocolates and cheese. So you have snacks to enjoy for days. Or you combine things. So a beer and cheese tasting, or combine wine and chocolate and get to learn a little bit about both. These classes do typically involve shipping a full kit of exactly what's needed for the class. So you want to take that into account. Shipping a kit is great because no one has to shop or really prepare anything. Everything comes in that kit directly to them. But some can be booked with just ingredients lists, so people can pick up that stuff on their own, or some of them may even have some of the stuff at home. This also really helps with, people with dietary restrictions or allergies. If they're picking up their own stuff, they know that these are products that they're going to like. It's also less expensive without shipping a kit. And as mentioned, there can be some worry with shipping things and tracking and just making sure things get there on time. So without shipping kits, things can be booked a little bit more last minute as well. And then all kinds of activities. So things like wreath making, gingerbread house, cookie decorating, card making, painting. Again, incredibly interactive. These are really fun for the whole family. So again, if you're at home, you can get the entire family involved in putting that gingerbread house together or making that wreath. These are also really great for pictures because everyone can kind of take pictures along the way, and certainly of their end products. And at the end, each person has something that they can use to display in their house for the rest of the event or for the rest of the season, which really is cool because it will constantly remind them of this event and how much fun they had. Again, usually there's shipping involved with these types of experiences, but some can be kitless. And then to chat on entertainers, so things like carolers, DJs, live bands. We have virtual dueling pianos, which is incredibly fun. I like to think of these as maybe more fun additions to the events as opposed to the entire event, just because you do want opportunities where people can interact and chat, not just be sort of watching a show the whole time. All right, gaming. Gaming is so fun because, again, there's just sort of endless opportunities with gaming. So things like bingo, trivia, escape room, live action murder mystery, scavenger hunts. Probably the most interactive from a team perspective. Some suppliers even offer multiple games in one event. So we have a game list on Kapow. It's a holiday cyberspace race where teams use Google Maps to explore famous cities and landmarks and learn about different holiday traditions. Similar festive race around the world. They help Santa deliver presents around the world with photo and video challenges, questions and team challenges, each earning you carrots to feed the reindeer to keep them flying around the world and delivering those presents. And there's a holiday game show extravaganza that includes games like Family Feud, trivia, and Name That Tune. So again, as I mentioned, these are really great for team building. You get an opportunity for people to work together on teams who haven't had much interaction prior to this, which I think is just such a wonderful way to get people to know each other. No shipping, so great for more last minute holiday bookings. And again, they can be themed for the holiday or your specific event theme. You can also use these types of experiences to learn more about your team. So ask pre-questions that you can incorporate into those activities, or as a way to reward people. You can ask questions about the company or milestones that the team met over the year, or maybe celebrate people's individual achievements throughout the year through some of these games. And I think I have
so much useful information. I love all the ideas that you have shared with us. And this is the last ingredient of that magic recipe just before we go to the Q&A.
Yeah, and actually I did see a quick question here from Michelle. She says, any suggestions on what to do when, say, you have one person who doesn't drink, but the rest of the crowd does? And I will say all of our partners offer some type of kind of like mocktail kit, meaning that there's no alcohol included. So basically they sort of send all of the ingredients that they would for the alcoholic beverage, but maybe additional soda water or something, or an additional juice to kind of make it a more mocktail. So most of the time, if you ask for those things, those are pretty easy for the partners to accommodate. Ooh, and margarita and guacamole, love that. Okay, so last category, just really wanting to focus on this not being a virtual event. So not focusing on the virtual side of this. This is just an event and it's going to be really fun. So don't worry about Zoom fatigue. Like, yes, you may be looking at a screen, but this is going to be much more relaxed than you would typically imagine. So you want this virtual event to be engaging and create lasting memories, just as an in-person event would. So again, these are some of the things we've talked about already, but starting engagement early is really key. But I also think getting people involved. So when do they want to have the party? Think about when they are the least busy so they can enjoy the party. Is that November? Is that sometime in December? Or maybe that's in January when the new year starts. Time of day is also important. Is this during work or something after work? When do you think you're going to get the highest attendance? And then if it's during work, are they going to be done with work afterwards? Those are things employees really like to know. So you can also have people vote on themes and activities to, again, make them feel really a part of the event that they're doing. And as we'd mentioned before, they can bring the whole family, right? So this is really an opportunity with virtual events to have the whole family, pets, friends, that you sometimes miss with those in-person events that maybe happen in an office or an off-site event. So the kids can help with the scavenger hunt or cookie decorating, or have your partner or roommate enjoy a drink and sit and meet people in your happy hour. And I like having an event with a few different options. So a few different pieces, you're kind of mixing it up throughout the event. So starting with a happy hour with music as people arrive, encourage people to like dress up, have a beverage, get people interacting, and then maybe start an activity and go to the next activity or so. I think it's also fun to give people a place to reconnect at the end so that people can kind of talk about their experiences, because they may have been on different teams and experienced different things, laugh about those funny moments, and continue to, again, have a beverage and continue the celebration. We have a partner that can create an entirely virtual event space with like multiple rooms and different activities in each space set up just like an in-person event would be. So people create avatars and they can move about the space and see and speak with the people that they're next to in the virtual event space. And then you can fill the space with things like casino games, mixology. You can have a stage with live music, trivia games. It's really sort of truly emulating an in-person experience and sort of like playing a video game. I don't know. It's pretty fun. And I know we've talked a lot about this, but sending physical items to help with engagement, I think, is really important. It really helps to like make it personal. So even if you're sending a cooking class kit, like make sure there's a personal message in those boxes, thanking everyone for attending and wishing them a happy holiday. Again, we sort of talked about this, but branding items, maybe with a logo or but maybe a statement, something about the year or a celebration note. Sending something in that everyone can wear during the event, funny hats, shirts, sending those ugly sweaters out that can kind of connect everyone throughout the call. As mentioned, you can use Hoppier to send gift cards so they can buy what food they want to have during the party, which is, again, a way to avoid having to worry about allergies and different food dislikes. And encouraging encouraging attendance is very important. So you want to make it easy for people to RSVP. You do want to send reminders. Like, you don't want to bog them down by sending reminders every single day, but you want to be able to remind people and encourage them to sign up for the event. You want to make a calendar invite with very easy instructions on how they should join the party. And then it's really key to make sure they know if there are things they should prepare or bring to the event beforehand. So for cooking classes, what do they need? A pot? Do they need butter? Any of those types of things, so they feel ready and once the event starts and they're not kind of scrambling. And then just my last point is having fun, right? This is the biggest piece of this whole puzzle, is to make sure that everyone's having fun. So I think you really need to encourage people to close their email, stop working on that project, close their work chat, and really just focus on the event. I think often people want to try and multitask during these events, and that means that they're probably not fully relaxed and their attention really isn't focused on having fun. So have people get up from their desks, grab a drink or snack, put on that ugly sweater. This will help them separate from work and actively join the party. I think the more that you can get them up and moving and sort of separate, maybe even just log on from a different computer, not their work computer, to really sort of get the mindset that this is to be a break from work and, for you to have a lot of fun.
That was amazing. So, quick recap on the 6 ingredients for a magical soup, for a magical virtual holiday party. I'm not going to explain everything, just a quick reminder of the 6 ingredients. Create a thematic experience, so create your own world. Create pre-event excitement, so create engaging experiences before the event. Bring physical element, bring that, think about that phygital experience that you can create at your holiday party. Select an amazing MC, make the employees, make them the heroes of your story, of your event. And this is not a virtual event, so think about how to create this party vibe and not this kind of boring webinar where people have to sit down and listen in, but think about all these creative engaging ideas that we talked about today to make sure that they are actors of your event and just don't sit there and listen in during 1 hour. So hopefully we helped you, get some inspiration on how to host a super fun party. I think it's a really important event, especially in 2021. We've been through a lot, and it's the one moment where we can, breathe, connect with some people that you probably haven't met because you work at a big company, or even honestly, like I work at a pretty small company, and there are quite a few people I don't really engage with because we're not in the same physical space. So if we don't work closely together, it's really hard to connect. So think of all the smart ways you can create that moment of true connection with everybody from your team. So before we go to Q&A, we have a few things that we want to touch on. If you want to work with any of our companies, here is a summary of what we can offer you, starting with Capo. And I gonna launch a small window here that you can click on if you want to get in touch with Vina or Vina's team. And Vina, if you want to share what's the best way to get in touch.
Oh, Vina, you're muted.
Oh, Vina, you're muted. That's
Sorry.
me, the enemy of virtual events in 2021.
Yes, I'm going to put my email and contact information in the chat. You can also click on this link that'll take you directly to our virtual page at Kapow. I'll also put that into the chat, but feel free to reach out to me with any questions. If you have more questions about the platform, or we can get you put in touch with one of our accounting executives to start planning an event.
Amazing. Sam.
Yes. Yeah, if you're interested in a virtual photo booth for your event, whether to use for like your traditional selfie photo booth or use it in some version of a competition. So like the ideas we mentioned, ugly sweater competitions, or getting people to take pictures of like gingerbread houses or cookie decorating. We're offering kind of 15% off your next virtual booth kind of total invoice because there's other add-ons that I didn't really like speak about that make that experience fun. And the cool thing about it is that it integrates with almost any virtual event platform out there. So it's not something that you have to have separate. If you're having your event on something like Gather or Hopin, etc., you can kind of move it right into there. And it's a lot of fun to see, like in a gallery format that's live, people's like it populating for everyone. So 15% off when you just kind of mention it to our team.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And last but not least, Hoppier. So Ilka said rightfully that I promised to everybody who attended today a $15 Hoppier card. I'm gonna add a lot of food vendor, but also a gift vendor, so that you can treat yourself with that $15. And we're going to add $25. It's USD. If you book a call with our team, so you'll get $40, so 15 for attending and $25 if you book a call. And so that's also a nice way for you if you're thinking of offering or like of adding food at your virtual holiday party, and you want to see, okay, how does that work? How do I get set up? How do I order with Hop your cards? that can help you, have the attendee experience so that you can get a better view of what your team will get in terms of experience. And of course, it's actual money. So you can order food or you can order gifts for yourself with this allowance. So thank you so much for attending today. I just want to leave 10 minutes for questions. Sam, I think, is gone, but he might come back. He might have an issue. He might have an issue like I had. And another thing that I wanted to share, I'm going to share two handouts here. One is for Capo. So if you want to check it out in the handout section here, if you learn more about Capo, you can download it here. And the other one, I hope that I can have two handouts and it's not going to destroy yours. If not, I will. Okay, yes. So if you want to know how Hopio works, you can also download that. Sam is back. Amazing. So yeah, I like the tree in your background, Thomas. Yeah, as I said in the start of the webinar, I'm a big Christmas fan. So you don't want to see my entire flat. It's full with Christmas decoration already. One thing I wanted to mention, something talked about Kahoot and going back to making the attendees like the event heroes. Something that I planned that I did last year was a team quiz at the holiday party. What I mean by that is I asked each team member to tell me 3 information pieces that people don't know about themselves that, of course, that they can share during that quiz at the holiday party. And so we use Kahoot, which is a really cool way for people to engage in that quiz. So you have the question that's always about a team member, and they had to guess to which member that applied. And so you had 4 options, and then on your phone you can select the right option. And so it's also about speed. So it's the right answer, and it's about speed. So it makes it fun. And the last question was, who in the team is pregnant? And that was really cool because so that's how that team member shared that really great news with our entire team. It's like having that last question being about that, and that was just like a really nice way to end things, and just a really cool way to engage everyone and to learn more about each other as well. So that might be a cool idea for your team event. Is there any other question? If you have any, we'll be stealing. Well, steal away, my friend, steal away. That's the goal of today. Any other question for Vina, Sam, or myself? Sam is playing hide and seek with us today. Thank you. Okay, then I'm gonna wait a few more seconds. Any questions? Thank you so much. Okay, let's wrap things up then. Less than 1 hour. It's perfect. I hope that we provided, and we have a question. Ideas for incorporating other holidays around the season, aside from Christmas, how to stay inclusive. Anyone wants to take that one?
Yeah, I can. Sorry. Oh, go ahead.
No, go Sam.
My connection seems to be a bit wonky anyway, so I'm trying to, it's weird. It just sometimes cuts out. But I marked 2 questions, Thomas. One of them I think already was answered for the idea of what to do for someone who doesn't drink. I think people mentioned mocktail ideas. And so I don't have like a great like high level event planner answer, but I know what we've seen before is just the use again of like making each space your own. So what that looks like for Snapbar in the context of a photo booth is, for example, if you're having a holiday themed photo booth, it doesn't have to be branded with tons of Christmas trees. You can have all kinds of holidays represented in the decor or theme because it's custom. And then when it comes to like stickers or props or overlays, the things we've often seen people do a variety. So of course, like you know, it might be that's like some, it's very traditional kind of like Western holiday, but it doesn't have to be in the case of Snapart. And I think when it comes to branding and kind of thematic experiences across other platforms, you can do the same. So that's one idea. It's not like this overarching kind of strategy, but I think when it comes to the specific pieces of it, you can make them inclusive and not completely related to Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar too. A number of our partners offer events that are very inclusive, right? So some of these, like, around the world scavenger hunts, where you kind of get to visit places all over the world and learn about those different traditions. So ways to not just sort of focus on the few that I feel like are most recognized here in the US, but really learn about different cultures that you may have not known at all what they do to celebrate this time of year. So, any of these companies, because their goal is to make sure people are having a good time, they create these games because they want you to have a good time. They're very open to customizing things like that. So again, you can ensure that if there's certain things that you want them to incorporate, they can absolutely do that. But there are a number of events that are set up to be very inclusive of all different kinds of ways people, celebrate this time of year.
I think one other thing I want to add on this inclusivity piece is always giving the choice back to your attendees. Like, there are different ways you can do that. And I'm linking a few topics here, but whether it's about what kind of gifts, what kind of food, what kind of experiences, are going to take place during the holiday party or during the virtual event, like giving the choice to people to giving the freedom to choose is something that you can really do now with all the tech that you can use. Sorry. So I'm thinking, one thing about the holiday party, but I would say that maybe at any team event is like you can have different activations during that team event. So it can be, you have different games, but at the same time, you would have roundtables, or a really cool company that I like is called Twine, which is this virtual chat roulette where you can meet somebody new every 5 minutes. So my point is, during your team events, it's always like a good idea to give the choice to people. Hey, this is what's happening during the next 2 hours, and you don't like to play games, that's totally fine. You can go to round tables and share some nice food, share some nice drinks, and that food, thanks to the partner that we have, you were able to again choose what you like. And you have these different things happening, and it's up to you to choose what matters most to you. I think some people like me will love to play games, we love to talk with other people. Some other people are a bit more shy and they want to chill and talk with people that they already know in like a group of 2 or 3 people. So think about this kind of freedom of choice in your activities. And I think we're gonna end here, and I'm gonna say a goodbye from Sam, I would say, because I don't think he will be joining us before we say goodbye. But I want to thank you so much for your time. Hopefully, we provided some value today. I'm gonna follow up with an email that will mention how to get in touch with Capo, Snapbar, and Hoppier, and of course with the $15 Hoppier card and with the recording of today. Thank you so much and have an amazing holiday season.
Thank you. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.